Okay, welcome to part 2 of why custom deathmatch servers is kind of fun. So what I was talking about before was the whole fact that, every server spawns you in different locations, sprays and stuff. But here in this custom deathmatch server, I'm in a pistol server, and this is kind of worse because it kind of defeats the purpose of pistoling. And you get used to the 1v1s and everything, but in the end you're getting used to certain play styles that you won't ever use in an actual game. So once you get into it, you realize, oh, it's not really what I was supposed to do. So that's what ends up happening. You get a habit in both death matches. Really, it's the same thing. You get a habit of just standing still in a certain spot and trying to kill one person, and it's not really entirely that. Or you can use your nades or whatever you have at your disposal, and a lot of people won't use that because of their just their inability to do it. So that's another thing. And then another thing I wanted to go over was the fact that all of the deathmatch doesn't really teach you much. It just does absolutely nothing for you. If you go into an actual game and then you play, you realize that you're not really playing. You're not really playing to your ability. And when you're in actual matchmaking or pug or team scrim, whatever it is, and if you play deathmatch all day, you won't really get used to it if you're kind of new to it, because you have to have the game sense, and you can't be playing around and walking around all the places and killing things unless it's matchmaking, where you can run all over the place if you want. But if you're an actual team scrim or team match, whatever it may be, you won't have that. You won't have the game sense, and you'll want to run around like I'm doing in the video, running around killing things when that's not really the case. And a lot of people get used to deathmatch and they can't handle themselves. And I've seen this situation in different games as well, not just CS:GO. Different games like Call of Duty or Team Fortress 2, whatever it may be. I've seen this case, and people get used to deathmatch, and then once they get into the actual scramble match, whatever it may be, they can't beat anyone, they can't kill anything because they don't have the game sense. And that's one major problem, one major habit that deathmatch teaches everyone. It just makes no sense. And it's just that entire concept of deathmatch saying, oh, it helps you. It doesn't really help you. It just hurts you more because you're dealing with that problem that you don't have the game sense. And to touch more on the sprays, pistoling is worse because you can't really do much, and people pre-aim, people just aim all over the place. They don't actually try to aim at you because their spray is just off. The pistols have sprays, very tiny sprays, but it's still a spray, and people don't realize that, and that's what happens. And you're trying to get good and do well, and you just can't because they have that spray. But it's not the same issue as with the AK. What I said before, the whole spray that you can track down your weapon. That's a different thing in itself. And what I've noticed is the fact a lot of deathmatch servers, you have people that are very skilled and people that are not so skilled. And you have people that are just there to have fun and throw, not actually practice. They pick up, they get an auto or a scout, whatever it may be, and they're good with it, but they're not really doing much for themselves. They're making it worse. But a lot of people take it seriously. A lot of people in deathmatch, if they see you with a certain gun that they don't like, they start yelling at you and they start ridiculing you for not using the actual meta. And that's what it's come to, where people take deathmatch so seriously to the point where they get really mad if someone uses a different gun that isn't an AK or an M4, and you know that's what happens. That's what ends up happening, and you know it's gone to that point where people get very irate, and it just comes down to that. And another thing is the same thing in pistols. If you use a CZ auto or whatever it may be, you know, CZ auto or you know, P250 or you know, Tech 9, people see that as low skill, but they don't realize those are pistols as well, and you have to, you know, adapt to those pistols as well. You have to get used to the fact that people are going to use those, and a lot of people don't notice that, and a lot of people get very mad about it. So yeah, that's kind of the other thing. So I think that's it for the problems of deathmatch. I hope you've enjoyed. If you want me to do another part, I can, but that's it, basically. Thank you.